Alright, so this is the latest edition of the Beggar's Bowl. I want to shift gears a little bit in the way that I do these. I'm going to try to do them once a week, as I have been, but instead of pre-scheduling them ahead of time, I'm going to try to actually do the Beggar's Bowl episode not live, but on the day that I publish it, so that the things that I'm talking about are current. So first of all, I want to give a little report. All is going well. Several writing projects moving ahead. A number of poems. A number of recordings. Working on some longer fictional pieces. One in particular. Years ago, I watched a YouTube video, and the woman was saying something to the effect that excuse me, that it's not lack of motivation that kills dreams, but isolation. And so I've had the thought, ever since I heard that, to put out into the world, like specifically what it is that I am looking at doing, to make it an open conversation, and whether or not the right people hear me put it out there, I think it may be important to put it out there. So, number one, I'd like to recreate my website. I started taking a class on that. But the thing that gets in the way is that I don't know what I'm doing well enough yet to create what I want. It needs to be more of like an author's website. That's the first thing. The second thing, I want to be able to publish something every quarter, every 3 months. What gets in the way? Well, me, for one thing. But one thing that I have shifted that I think may help is that I want to start publishing things that are already done. So I've got a lot of poems that I could create a number of poetry compilations. That could be one thing. And then, so I'm going to try to kind of divorce my writing from publication, in the sense that I write every day, which will create works to be published. But then I think of the publishing side as something separate. And by this, what I mean specifically, I don't mean publishing like onto this podcast. I mean publishing in an actual book quarterly. I'd like to create some sort of small book quarterly. So the other thing that gets in the way of that is work, me needing to do other work, and projects for people that I love. I would love to partner with somebody, with somebodies, on various of these projects. So that might be one miracle that could happen. And so the other thing that I have in mind right now is that I am looking for a desk job. Not quite sure what that job will look like. On the one hand, I like the idea of working with actual people in an office, because that stimulates me in a way that I like. On the other hand, I've considered doing one of these work from home jobs, but it needs to be a desk job. I would love it too if it were something creative, something whereby I could make money doing something that I really enjoy doing. All right, so those are some things that I've thrown out there. And last of all, I have a goal to obtain more followers. So the way that you can help on that is to please liberally share anything that I've written, recorded, or produced. And I would greatly appreciate that. So this is me breaking the isolation, sharing the things that I am desiring to do, and asking the world, all of it, every person, even though they can't all hear me right now, that if you have particular means that will help me to these ends, and they're just sitting around those means, and you want to help, that would be great. So in the past, I've always asked for 50 cents on these Beggar's Bowl episodes. You're welcome to do that as well if you'd like, but today I do have food and clothing and shelter and all the things I need that way. So only do that if you feel impressed to. But these other things are more weightily on my mind, the things I've mentioned before that. So anyways, God bless you all. And we'll talk to you next week in another edition of the Beggar's Bowl.